Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Koei Tecmo Europe, the publishers of Neo 2 Complete Edition, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring the event. Now it's time for Codejinn, running Teslagrad. Take it away.
Hi everybody, welcome. Hi Tesla laddies. I have on my couch today, virtual couch, Borzenberger, the pretty much the man behind all the wiki of Tesla strats, and Deoxy Moore, our current any percent world record holder. Welcome guys,
great,
how are
thanks.
y'all doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so pumped for this. Let's go.
All right, let's go sounds about right. So we're going to start this off with new game, and when I press overwrite save data, we'll start the run. So we'll do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right, just starting off, we are doing a quick reload, skip a intro cutscene, and there's some nice early platforming strats that I'll let these guys talk about.
Yep, so right at the beginning, Teslagrad is just your everyday platformer, but there are a couple of tricks that are really important. The first one is what we call a moon jump. So basically, if you watch closely, you will see that every time Codejinn lands on a slope, he does a little left-right. This is the moon jumps. So basically what's happening is that when the character lands on a slope, the game converts his vertical speed into horizontal speed, giving him a boost. And that little turn left-right amplifies that boost. You'll see that a lot in the run, like one right here. Left-right jump.
Yeah, just a little bump there, you know. Over the intro of the game, it does save a couple seconds to hit them quickly. And you know what, Borzen, you want to tell us about the what we're doing and like
Sure.
the story behind
Sure. So
Teslagrad?
the plot of the game is that the opening cutscene that he skipped was basically you being delivered as a baby to a safe house. And you awaken. Time passes. You awaken up, and your safe house is being stormed by these guards, and you have to escape. So you eventually take refuge within this old, dilapidated tower that was once housing a group of wizards known as the Teslamancers, who were basically masters of electromagnetism and robotics. And as you explore the tower, you eventually discover that you are the last of the Teslamancers, who are basically being hunted to extinction by a king who's gone mad with power. And your mission is to stop the king so you can kind of restore order to this little town of Teslagrad that's been kind of run ragged.
Yeah, and then basically we pick up our first kind of Tesla power coming up. It allows us to use punching to change the polarity of between red and blue. So you're going to see a lot of red and blue throughout the run. Just similar to basic magnetism, opposites attract, same colors repel. We're actually doing a 100% run, so we're going to do a quick backtrack right here, collect our first of 36 scrolls.
And these scrolls kind of provide the backstory of the game. There's no words in the storytelling. It's all pictorial. So these scrolls are all showing the past.
That room we just left was pistons. There's actually a skip there where you can use the kind of physics to manip the block and jump up higher. Saves about 5 seconds, but we didn't get it. And there we go. We got our magnetic gloves. So we're able to punch objects to either red or blue, depending on your hair triggers. And it's going to definitely open up a lot of the early game physics and puzzle platforming. Not much going on in these early rooms. Standing still on that platform makes it rise. It's funny that on the Xbox port, I used to speedrun. That was where I learned the game. Gravity's a little bit heavier, so you can't do that strat, which is funny, but you can walk in the air. So every port has different versions like PS4 and stuff, and we're actually coming up to a first kind of skip here. There we go. Got the quick
Nice.
cycle.
Yeah, it should be pointed out we're running an earlier version on the PC than normal. We're running version 1.3, and 1.4 is the current version, which you'll see on other platforms. We run 1.3 because it allows some glitches that got patched out later on.
Went for
Having a really precise jump.
yeah, it's a coyote
Too bad.
and a buffer jump, so it's like very subtle inputs there and frame perfect. So we didn't get it, but take the safe
It doesn't look
shots.
that. It doesn't look that hard, but the electricity hitbox in the game are really, really junky. They are way bigger than they appear, so it's really, really hard.
That jump's really tough, yeah.
Nice, got the moonwalk for swag.
Nah.
Swag points actually saves you swag time, so we add that on at the end of the run.
Yeah, worth it. And this is the first boss of the game called Furnace. So basically what's going on here is that crates are falling from the left of the screen, and the goal is to put 9 crates into the mouth of Furnace. To speed that up, it's possible to stack them and use magnetism to throw them quickly into its mouth. Yeah, you need 9 of them, and every 3 crates, the conveyor belt goes even faster. So that's really, really hard. At the right side of the screen, you can see a little furnace, and if Teslakid lands on it, it's game over and you have to restart the boss. So a really, really tricky boss. That is the cause of many, many resets. It's also the first instance of RNG in the game, because the size of the crates is random. And it can give you a little trouble to stack them, yeah, like that.
We got
That was a
quick
nice
box,
example of
yep,
block pop.
exactly.
So that's the second phase. Just one last phase with the 3 last boxes.
And this is pretty much the only boss fight that we actually do conventionally. There aren't really many ways to save time here. Every other boss fight, we have ways of making it go faster.
Yep, unfortunately, yeah, it's not possible to skip Furnace.
There we go. Play it safe and
Nice.
smart. I kind of want to go for a getaway block, but I don't want to end up in the furnace and restart a 2.5-minute fight. So
Yeah.
my
And what he
estimate
means,
is pretty low as it is, so we're just going to focus on playing safe.
by getaway block, he means standing on a block that's heading into the furnace and using it to get up onto that platform a little bit faster.
And now Codejinn is picking the second item, which are the Bling Boots, and it's the most broken item of the game, allowing us to do 2 major glitches. So yeah, the Bling Boots allows Teslakid to blink on a little distance. Now Codejinn is going for a little backtrack to get scrolls he couldn't get without them. And so the very first trick you're going to see with the Blink Bots is what we call a blink bounce. So basically, if you blink precisely inside the hitbox of an enemy, the game doesn't like that. You're not supposed to get inside the enemy like that. So it will just propulse you at high speed. And Codejinn is going to use that in a couple of rooms to get a scroll that is the most recent route change. Because before that, we needed the next item, which is a cape, to get it. So in the next room, you will see 2 grooves, so that black creatures that can hit Teslakid inside the cage, and we place them very, very precisely to be able to get the blink bounce and get the scroll above their head. Nice.
And that was found by you, and through a little bit of kind of practice, we were able to implement this in the 100% category. It saves 20 seconds from the original route, so huge time save there.
Yeah, it's the last modification we had for the 100% category, and was found, yeah, totally randomly, in fact. Codejinn will attempt another blink bounce in the next room, which is very, very difficult. Not any sane person tries to do it in a normal run, but hey, let's do the swag strat.
So I didn't get it, but I actually blinked through the groove, so I didn't take a death. So it just, which is nice, so I can continue without losing any time.
Yeah, keep in mind those little black critters just kills you instantly, so it's really, really difficult. I mentioned 2 major glitches due to the Bling Boots. Bursan, can you explain the second one, please?
Sure. So the second exploit we're able to do with the Blink Boots is called EBH, or Extended Blink Hitbox. So every time you blink, the game will briefly project a hitbox behind you in order to register touches on things that you may have blinked through. So you saw right there, he touched that scroll without actually reaching it. And that's the EBH in action, because what we discovered is that if we face backwards immediately after blinking, the hitbox is still projected behind our character, but since we're facing backward, it's now in our forward walking path instead of the path we just traveled. And that lets us do 3 different things. First of all, as you've seen so far, we can collect scrolls just a little bit faster to save some time. The second thing we can do is that the projected hitbox that we're extending forward can go through walls. And that lets us do some fun stuff like collecting scrolls through walls where they aren't intended to be collected, and also registering touches on checkpoints that are through walls that we're not meant to reach yet. The third thing that we're able to do with the EBH technique is that since we are blinking through a section and avoiding our hitbox touching that section, we can blink through invisible triggers and never register touches on them. And that lets us do things like skip bosses, which we're about to do as we're climbing up to our next boss, Faradeus.
Yeah, and this is actually probably an intro to the tough boss fight in the game. Federus is very hard. Normal playthrough, and what we did was we went up there, we set a checkpoint, grabbing this scroll, we'll do a quick reload, and we're gonna do the EBH to skip this boss trigger.
Normally when you step in, you touch a trigger that closes the arena, but since we skipped that trigger, the arena never closed, and you can just walk your way at the end of the arena and just say goodbye to Faraday.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice.
Now we collect our next item, which is the cloak. So you saw that we've been touching these flowers, which kind of energize us in order to use these little magnetic beams. The cloak lets us project our own magnetic field, so we don't need the flowers anymore. We can kind of levitate at will.
And we're going to the most difficult scroll in the entire game, which is the next room. There is a cube that rotates, and with a precise blink and cape, you can collect the scroll that is at the top. Oh my god, you got it first try, you're a madman!
Well done.
What the hell was that?
Here's another blink bounce on some trash to get up to a scroll that you're not normally supposed to collect until later. Another EBH collection there.
Yeah, and that's our forge skip. That's the first big skip you learn in any percent. But we still do it in 100% because we collect that scroll and it beats doing the normal puzzle pattern above.
Another EBH collection.
Yeah, through the
Normally
wall.
supposed to go down and around.
Would now be an okay time for some donations?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I have a $40 donation here from Anonymous with no comment, just lovely generosity. And of course, that went towards our unlocking our bonus game, the Wacky World of Miniature Golf, that Big John will run later if we manage to meet that incentive. Now we're sitting at $2,910 out of the $5,000 that we're looking for. And I do believe that we can make it and we can unlock one last game for ESA.
Yes, we can do that.
I also want to point out the fact that we are only $745 away from raising $40,000 for Alzheimer Fonden.
We have room for another 1 or 2 donations.
Oh, do we? Well, that is excellent news. I have another 1 or 2 donations. I have one here from Dragowiz for $35 who says, time to support a great cause. So happy to see ESA gathering speedrunners all around the world together, even though we can't physically be in the same location at the moment. Keep up the great work, everyone.
And another one.
Another one. Well, I have one more donation here from John with no comment, just $100. Thank you so much
Thanks,
to all of
everybody.
our donors.
Thanks for the donations, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys.
Here we're doing a quit out. We actually our sprite still moves while we're in the menuing, so we can pause early and collect that scroll on the way down as we exit to the main menu. And we just did a pretty tough skip called Brazen Bull Skip. There's a very small pixel on top of that bull where you don't have to opt the puzzle solving and you just skip right through it.
Yeah, basically every time you see electricity on screen, it means that it's way harder than it looks. Like really. Nice skip.
Yeah, one hit KO for the electricity, but this game is very rewarding. With dying, you get set back at the beginning of the room, so it's not brutal. Boss fights can be a little bit more tricky, though.
Here's another EBH setup he's about to do. He's going to collect this scroll first, and then as he goes back down, he's going to blink at the wall here, but he's actually doing an EBH to touch a trigger that's beyond the wall, and then he's going to take a death, and when he respawns, he appears on the other side of the wall because he's
Nice.
touched the trigger on the other side.
Exactly.
And we're going slowly but surely to the third boss of the game, which also has some speed struts. And it's actually the second instance of RNG in the run. So the third boss is Oleg, you will see in a couple of seconds now. And he shoots energy balls to the Tesla kid. And you can repel them using your cape by standing in the really, really precise location right next to electricity. And as I said, it's way easier than way harder, sorry, than it looks. Nice first one. So the first energy ball is red, the second one is blue, and the third one is completely random. Ah, too bad you took a death here. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I actually thought he was gonna turn back. He didn't go far enough to go into his kind of cage trigger, so I have to position Teslagrad a little bit further away, like right there.
Nice, perfect.
Couple mishaps,
So
but we'll make it through this boss fight.
Yeah, as we said, the electricity hitbox are really, really junky, and he just got touched by electricity. Nice first one. So first energy ball is always red, the second one is always blue, but we also have a trick for the third one that is random, and we're going to see that now. Last phase.
Little pause buffer trick to see what color it is.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
We pause at the right moment, it's blue, blue cape, and let's go. Oleg is now dead.
Except he's not dead. We'll see him later.
Ah, don't spoil! Oh my god.
Okay, fine, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Dead to me. He took away some of my time, precious time, but we made it out of there. Into our hamster ball cat jam now.
Yeah, this section is the Hamster Balls. It's basically very junky, very slow. That's the only way to go through that section. Hopefully, we have some Hamster Ball skip coming. So
That was close.
Which are really. Oh yeah, that's exactly why the Hamster Balls are junky. You cannot really control their speed. But yeah, there are a couple of skips you're going to see right now. By climbing on that ball, it's possible to reach the ledge. It's really, really junky, a really, really junky setup also, so really, really difficult.
Yep.
The ledge grab is, yeah, so the game doesn't like you going that way. Nice, really, really good. That ledge is so hard to grab.
Every hamster ball after the first one is skippable. But for the last one, you kind of need Dioxy level reflexes in order to make time on it.
Oh, stop it, you. Yeah, basically, if you want to skip that last section of the hamster ball, you need to do moon bonk. If you remember the intro, that little left-right we do on the slopes, it's also possible to do them on the ceiling, on the sloped ceiling, but it's way, way, way harder, and not any sane person will go it in a marathon setting, so that's okay.
Wow, nice little bunny hop there to kind of show the
Nice.
mechanics of continuing your velocity and your speed.
Yeah, every time you go beyond the maximum speed of the character and you touch the ground, you can do that little left-right to try to keep that speed. It's something you can see a lot if they run, if you pay attention to it. It's a really subtle thing, but very, very important for high-level speedrun of Teslagrad. And now we're going to see another blink bounce that saves 10 seconds if done properly.
Yeah, 10 to 15 seconds if you get it first try, but it requires an AI manip, and we should be able to get it here. There we go. First try.
Nice.
Well done.
Thank you. And there's a good EBH right there on getting that scroll. And coming up into the Little Richard room, the longest room in the game in this run. So if you want to have a donation, we can read that.
I would be very happy to read a donation. I have a donation here from Anonymous for $35 with no comment, just their lovely generosity. Again, that one went to our incentive that we are trying to unlock right now, the bonus game for the wacky world of miniature golf that Big John will play after his run of Super Mario All-Stars any % if we manage to meet that incentive. And just as a reminder, we are looking for $5,000 to unlock that incentive, and we're currently sitting at $3,236. So we are definitely making our way there, but not quite there yet. Please do get those donations in.
Let's make it happen.
So in the next room, you will see the EBH again in action. There are 2 scrolls that Codejinn will be able to collect through the walls. So if you missed it before, it will be in the next room, in the 2 next rooms. So here at the top right of the room, there is a scroll that we can collect through the wall.
Nice one.
Thank you.
And in the next room, so it's the tower climb, you're supposed to race the scroll to the top, but you can just EBH through the wall.
And this is the part of the game that casual players hate because you have to navigate this laser maze while still handling your cape controls and making sure not to fall or touch a laser. We just memorize it, so it's trivial to us. Now we're going to clip through the ceiling, which is only possible in 1.3 version. And when we reload, we appear on top of the bridge.
Yep, we just touch a checkpoint through the floor, through the ceiling, sorry. So yeah, just save and reload, and here we are. Still a little bit of backtrack to collect scrolls. To complete the 100% category, so there is a scroll at the top of that room, and using some clever magnetism, it's possible to reach it.
I was able to save that, but you want the blocks directly on top of each other. Oops, I think I messed this up.
So something that he's trying to do here that you may not have seen is that he's trying to do an EBH to avoid touching a trigger that respawns you in the middle of this room, because he's going to take a death here after doing that EBH skull collection. He wants to respawn at the beginning, but yeah, you can see he touched the trigger, so now he's respawning down here instead of at the entrance.
Yeah, we would
no big problem.
normally spawn up there at the tower. It's similar to the wrong warp we took when we picked up Blink Boots. Yeah. Pretty much
One
coming
more
up
scroll
to
collect.
the end of the kind of tower climb. At the very top of the tower, we are picking up our Tesla staff. This gives us kind of our magnetism on a staff instead of punching, so we can shoot it. And we're actually coming up to a boss fight where I found some new tech where we pause and do maximum DPS by using a pause buffer to break the shields. And optimizing this fight, I was able to shave 16 to 18 seconds off the vanilla strats.
Yeah, it's the very last huge time save we had on Teslagrad. So basically, you will see Codejinn pause and doing the beam at the same time, and he will be able, to do a tremendous amount of damage to the boss.
Normally you have to wait like several seconds of firing for each of those shield sections, but he just melts them off like they're nothing.
Yeah. Normally the boss has some invincibility frames, but if you pause, he never gets them. A little bit like in Mega Man, in Mega Man runs, you have something like similar when the invincibility frames are doing the pause. That's basically the same thing here.
There we go.
Nice.
So we can end the game at this point, but since we're on 36 scrolls, there are still some that we need to go around and collect. And, in the process of doing that, there's a couple more EDHs. And when he winds up at the bottom, after he's gotten all the scrolls, there's going to be a vault door. And this was one of the big exploits that EBH initially saved time for us, because you are required normally to collect 15 scrolls before this vault door at the bottom will open, so you can go to the end of the game. But we found that if you EBH at the door, you can register a checkpoint on the other side, quit and reload, and now suddenly the door is open, so 0 scroll runs are now possible.
Yeah, and that's the big reason why we changed 15 scroll to maybe not the main category, and we replaced that with any %. This was actually ran by Frozen Truly in AGDQ 2016, where he ran 15 scrolls, and right now any % is a lot faster because you don't collect any scrolls and you're just abusing the EVH the whole time. We got a couple more scrolls left. Not very technical.
Yeah, still using EBH stuff. There is a very, very interesting EBH he's gonna do for one of the last scrolls. There is one scroll in a room to the right of the tower, and what he's gonna do is he will load the room and try to get the scroll in the other side while still staying in the tower. With an EBH. It's really, really difficult. It's nearly pixel perfect because you barely have the good hitbox size. Yeah, that's it.
So by opening the door, he has loaded the next room.
There we go.
And now he's trying to blindly grab the scroll. There you go. That is awesome.
Third try is really, really awesome. That's just a ridiculously hard trick to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much like pixel perfect, as well as you have to take your momentum going up in effect as well. So very tricky. And we have one more scroll left, and that should be 100% of all 36 scrolls. Or 2 more, actually, because one before the final barrier.
Collecting 36, all the scrolls, also allows you to get the good ending of the game, which is a little part you have to do at the end of the game that we don't usually do in any %. Just come back to own section.
There we go. Normally you would have to wait for a cutscene of the scrolls loading up and then the door opening up slowly. So reloading that right there after an EVH to set the checkpoint on the other side of the wall. Quick way to get past that room.
So now we've teleported to the King's Fortress, and we are going to take the assault directly to him. You can see him zapping the staff here. He's actually shooting guards that are off screen.
And the guards are also one-hit KO, so normally you can land on his head and it doesn't hurt you, but that time it did.
And in the castle, Codejinn will actually go for the biggest skip we found in this section, which is called a dungeon skip. So don't expect him to succeed. It's really, really precise and you only have one try. But by luring the guard in that room, you can do a very, very precise blink bounce to try to reach a hole in the ceiling and directly go to the end. It's really precise. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible for me, but not for you. I've never been able to do it. Hours of practice, maybe one or two attempts where I've got the actual blink bounce to hit me up without dying on the guard. But saves a whole minute. You basically skip this whole section of climbing up right here.
I only got it once in a run. There is only one run that exists that implements that trick, and it was just pure luck and an instant world record. So
Yeah, it's always good to go for something that saves so much time on runs that are way behind.
yeah. And
This
so
be an
this is
okay
a dungeon
time?
that.
Oh, so
Oh,
all
sorry,
right,
sorry. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Is it an all right time for donations?
is.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, I have another anonymous $35 donation with no comment, just some generosity there. And I have a $20 donation here from Blade Guru, who says, me and my daughter have been watching both live and reruns for a couple of years, and I usually donate, but this is the first year we are donating live and together. We love how wholesome Runners, Couches, and Chat is. Much love to everyone. And both of those went towards our final incentive that we're trying to unlock, the bonus game of the Wacky World of Miniature Golf. And I just want to let everybody know we are only $655 away from having raised $40,000
Wow, let's
for
go.
Alzheimer Funding.
That's exciting.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So you briefly saw Oleg there. He opens up a hatch for you to climb out, but we quit and reload, and that actually makes it faster to climb up again. Here's the king. We're just going to skip him. Normally he's a big source of RNG, but you know, we don't like him, so we just skip him with EBH.
Yep. And normally the game ends here, but if you collect all 36 scrolls, you get sent back to your hometown, and everything's kind of constructed. There's people out, and everybody's happy, and we're basically just gonna do this true ending. I guess. Did we meet our incentive for the run?
Yes, we absolutely did meet the Slingshot incentive.
So the Slingshot is a tech that I found only available for New Game Plus. Saves about 5-6 seconds, but it utilizes EVH, blink bouncing, and AI manip all in one. So it'll be kind of cool to show that off. Hopefully I'll be able to do it. And getting close to time.
Yeah, Tesla Kid just goes home. Everybody's happy. King has been defeated, but not really. But yeah, that was enough.
And excited that Rain Games announced Teslagrad 2. So there is going to be a sequel to this game. So that's pretty hype.
There are other Rain games set in the same universe too, such as World to the West and Mesmer, that you might also want to check out.
Here we go, coming up on time. Time.
Nice.
Well done.
Jeez.
That was a really, really great run.
What was the time?
Coming up on it, about 31:42, 43.
Yeah, 31:43 is what I'm seeing.
Solid. I was
Yeah,
hoping to
really.
get underestimate. The rust has been real, but we played really well, and we got to let this song finish out. Laval, shout out to you. One of the composers for the Teslagrad game, but such a great song. And
My favorite in the game. Yeah.
exactly, and we will actually get the incentive on the way and start trying to do that. So as you can see, the guard, we were able to blink, and he got kind of stuck in this wall right here. So we're going to use that. Hopefully we can get a nice launch and show off this pretty sweet clip for New Game Plus.
New Game Plus, of course, starts us off with all the items.
It's a really, really precise blink. It's an insane tech that Codejinn discovered, and when you got it, it's just mind-blowing. But really hard.
The setup is easy, and we have this checkpoint, so we can utilize that. If you don't get the guard in there, you pretty much are can't really get the skip. So he has to be in that specific spot. There we go. And a little bunny hop there. And that's our
Nice
church
one.
slingshot.
So cool.
Saves about 5 seconds in New Game Plus. Crazy tech that I found, and definitely want to give a shout out to pretty much everybody in the Teslagrad community coming together. I'll let my virtual couch say their goodbyes. I think we had a pretty good run. Borzan, I'll go with you.
Sure. So, it's always exciting to see Teslagrad. I don't run the game myself, but I've been a fan of the community for many years. And so I just love to see this game being played. And I want to see, the success of Rain Games as they continue.
Thank you. And Deoxy?
Yeah, it's been a long time since Teslagrad wasn't at a major speedrunning event, so that was really, really cool. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for donating for this amazing cause. And thank you, Codejinn, for running the game. That was a really, really solid run.
Thank you, Tesla lads. I appreciate that. And thank you, ESA, for putting this marathon on. And sorry about my alerts. I thought I had them turned off. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you. And we'll see everybody around. Thank you, ESA.
Thank you so much, Codejinn, for that amazing run of Teslagrad. And with that, my time as your reader has ended. But do not worry, I am leaving you in the extremely capable hands of Tainted Tolly. And coming up, we have a really exciting Pokemon Emerald randomizer race. So please stay with us.
All right, cool. Thank you.